In this video, looking at IMAT 2020, question 29. So we're told a certain type of finch, Q29, probably pronouncing that horribly, has arrived on an island, and it was similar to the G. fortis, which already lived on the island. And we're told that our GC finch is 70% larger than our GF and has a different song. And here is a little pedigree diagram, just a mating diagram of which finches mated. So we have a GC immigrant male with a GF female, and then one of that first population is then mated with a GF female, and then the further generations are only bred with the F1 or F2, and that leads to speciation. We've got a new species which has a larger build and body and has a new song. And our question is, which of the terms down here are shown by this information? So do we have sympatric speciation, reproductive isolation, or postzygotic isolation? So I think a good place to start with this will just be to define these three terms so we know what's going on. So if we start off with sympatric speciation, what does this term mean? So we know we've got speciation, so a new species is evolved, and that comes about by it inhabiting the same geographic region as the old species. So we've got two species, the new and the old one, living in the same area. And then move on to reproductive isolation. So what does this one mean? So it's a mechanism that prevents the organism from interbreeding. So this could be geographical isolation or just any mechanism that prevents these organisms from coming together. It's crucial for speciation, and the two populations evolve separately. That's the key feature of our reproductive isolation. And then thirdly, we've got postzygotic isolation. So as opposed to our prezygotic isolation, this occurs after the egg has been fertilised by the sperm. So once the egg is fertilised, things prevent speciation. So this could be things like the offspring dying or being infertile, which is the case for mules. So these are all examples of our postzygotic isolation. So knowing these three definitions, let's go back and see if we can work out which ones are shown by the information. So firstly, I think we can already cross out one, which is going to be our postzygotic isolation. We can see that our offspring are fertile, they don't die, they can go on to breed with each other. So this one at the bottom here is not going to be correct. But how about our other two? Well, if we look at reproductive isolation, do we have examples of that? Well, yes, we do. We're told that the further generations are only breeding with our F1 or F2 finches and not our old species. So we don't have the examples of that species interbreeding. So we can say that this one is true. And how about our sympatric speciation? Are there any geographical barriers to our reproduction? Well, yes, there is. We're only told we've got one finch from our GC population, and there's no way that they can keep breeding to form our new species from there. So we can say that that one is incorrect. And therefore our final answer is going to be answer B.